Alright, in this video I'm going to show you the best settings to have if you play on controller on console for Battlefield 6. Let's get in. What's going on, guys? Static Suppressor here, and like I mentioned, we have Battlefield 6 settings to talk about. This is more for those who, I specifically myself, play on an Xbox Series X, regular controller too, by the way. Nothing fancy, no crazy paddles, just your geriatric 35-plus-year-old gamer showing you the settings that I have that do pretty decent for my skill and gameplay. And remember, if you guys do enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, plus the notification bell so you know when yours truly posts another video in the future. And until next time, stay safe, be healthy, keep streaming. We'll see you on the next one. Enjoy. All right, so here we are at the Battlefield 6 open beta launch screen. Toggle right on over RB, get to the settings. Piece of cake, you're with me so far. All right, so now here we are on the settings page. Now again, I'm only gonna show you the ones that I have changed, all right? So that way we're making it short, sweet, and to the point for you. Only the ones I have personally changed. Everything else is left at default, okay? So first up, we have the accessibility tab. Everything pretty much on the up and up until we come down here into the graphics area. Graphics, I end up modifying. World motion and weapon motion blur, I believe, are defaulted at like 50 or 100%. I turn it all the way down. That way I just have a crisp image no matter where I'm looking, whipping it around, what have you. It's easier for me myself. So again, for me, 0% weapon and world motion blur. Second or third, if you go to the camera shake amount, this is for your cinematic people, right? Obviously, it even tells you how often it's going to shake caused by explosions. This is defaulted at 100% to give you that cinematic immersive feel. I've been playing on 50%, and it's still immersive enough. I don't need a bunch of camera shaking to throw me off my game a bit, and I want to stay focused. So have it at 50% if you really are that much of a sweaty person and you don't care about all the immersiveness. 0 might be the way for you. But for me, 50%, because I still like to enjoy part of the game that has nothing to do with my actual skill. Alright, so after we get out of the camera effects, we're going to go down to controls on hold and toggle. Click on that button down to the double tap forward sprint. I believe on default this is set to just sprint, I think. Mine is on auto sprint. The difference, you can read along as well, but if you do the auto sprint, even after you do the double tap forward to sprint, when you let go, so you're not holding that forward button, you can release it and you'll still be sprinting. Really convenient in my opinion. Doesn't leave room for, oh man, why did I all of a sudden stop running kind of a thing. I don't know, it's one less thing you have to worry about. Then right beneath that we have crouch toggle sprint. Now crouch toggle sprint in Battlefield 6, very unique in my opinion. So when you are in stand mode, or if you are in crouch mode, when you are sprinting, I can't really tell a difference. So I'll show you a clip here where you'll see in this instance, I'm running while I'm in full standing position, and this instance, I'm running while in crouch position. In my opinion, I don't really see that much of a difference between the speed. So my logical brain says, hey, if I'm crouching, smaller hitbox. Might be harder to, get shot at by the enemy while still maintaining the same speed as if I were standing upright. Something to think about. Go with what you feel. I do the crouch. And then thirdly, we go into the double tap crouch for sprint slide. I actually have that turned off. The reason I have this turned off is it kind of gives me more of a natural vibe to hold the B button down while I'm running. I hold the B button down to slide. And then because I have the auto sprint and the crouch toggle on, I just go from like sliding and then I'm just in crouch position running again. Makes it super smooth, super easy on the mobility side of things. Then if we scroll all the way down, the only other thing I changed was on the vehicle boost. If you find yourself conveniently enough being able to get into a vehicle, I have it on the hold versus the toggle, because again it just feels like I have more control of the boost itself. So I changed mine to hold. and that takes care of the controls on the accessibility side. So next we go into gameplay, which basically has the most changes made to it. All right, so if we go through global, we come down to the hold toggle. Well, if you remember, this is basically already the stuff that we did before. Auto sprint, just like in the accessibility one, a vehicle boost, just like in the accessibility one. Now, you can also change these. I know a lot of people use interact and reload for different prioritization. I have obviously kept mine on default for the reload because I need that. So I have that on that one. When you go down into infantry, this is for settings, sensitivity. Now for me, the aim sensitivity is actually too slow by default. It is set to 20. I actually didn't like that. For someone who normally always thinks, oh man, sensitivity is way too high, I'm geriatric, I can't get a handle on things, I actually found this too slow on the aim. So I actually increased it by just 5 points to 25. So not the biggest difference in the world. Then you can see same thing that is in the accessibility one that we went over, the double tap forward sprint, have it to auto, the crouch toggle sprint, have it to crouch, and then of course the double tap crouch for sprint slide I have turned off. Now this one can be controversial. It depends as to, again, how immersed you want to be into the video game. For the landing roll, I have turned it off. Now, having it on makes for an awesome cinematic experience. You're jumping up high, you do a little front roll, and boom, you're right back into the action. Now, it does take less fall damage, actually, if you have it on. However, you really shouldn't be getting that much fall damage to begin with. So if you don't want to have a jarring experience and you just want to be like, you know, how all the other games used to be that are FPSs where it's not crazy, you know, movements upon just jumping, I turned the landing roll off. It allows me to refocus much quicker than if I did a front roll. Personal preference again. Now when we come down to the vehicle sensitivity, vehicle aim sensitivity at 20 is fine. Aircraft control sensitivity and the helicopter control sensitivity is actually too high for me. I believe the default is like 47%. So for me, I have it turned down all the way to around 21. I feel like I have a better handle on the vehicle, especially whether it's the jet or the helicopter. And if you've seen all the clips of people not being able to fly a jet or a helicopter correctly, you want to have it on a lower setting. Trust me, 21 is good. And then obviously when we also get into the vehicle aim relative controls, this is defaulted at being off, where the vehicle moves just where it's facing, but when it's on, the vehicle will move where the camera is aimed. Makes it just easier, in my opinion. Vehicle boost, as we had before, we hold it, we don't toggle it. Other than that, aim assist, make sure all those are at 100%, yeah? Really get those PC players pissed off with this one. If you have these below 100, hey, you're an overachiever. We don't need that here, all right? All right, so we skip over mouse and keyboard, obviously, because we aren't playing on that. Then we get into graphics. Get down to camera settings, field of view. In every single FPS game I play, I always set it to the maximum percentage, 120 through and through. I think it was defaulted at like 90 or 80, 120 best field of view for me. Third person vehicle field of view, I do the same thing, the highest, 83. Again, better surroundings, being able to see everything. We talked about this earlier in the accessibility, world motion, weapon motion, camera shake. Changed them all. 0% on those two, 50% on the camera shake, because again, I'm immersed, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, it's so jarring, right? When it comes to the vignette, I actually turned it off. You can see right there, there's the slightest difference you can tell, like in this side of my screen when I have it on versus having it off. I just like it a little brighter. I'm old. I'd like to see things a little bit more clear. Same with the film grain. Film grain, can't really tell too much of a difference, but I just turned it off regardless. Now, as we get down into the interface and HUD, we look at the advanced HUD settings, and I'll show you which ones I actually changed. I really don't think I changed too much. On the show kills made by, so I don't like a bunch of stuff popping up on my screen left and right, it's like going onto a website and having a bunch of pop-ups in your face, and it can be a little jarring and overwhelming. The only things I care about seeing are the kills that I made. Now, there are multiple options here that you can give. You could actually have none if you don't want them, or you can have all, or you can have your squad, or a squad and anyone nearby, like the enemy team, or yourself. For me, I'm just interested how well I'm doing while I'm in the match. I can look at the after match stats after the game. We get down into the mini map. I just changed the opacity to 100% so I can see it clear. I think the dynamic mini map, yeah, so this actually enables your mini map to follow the direction that you are facing. Then outside of that, that is the only thing that comes to the advanced HUD settings. Oh, that was the other thing. I missed one thing on the graphics for the chat. I did change the chat settings, so I just changed the chat scale to 50, because if you're on console, you're obviously not going to be typing on your keyboard. Making it as small as possible, so again, it's not as like in your face and distracting, is best. And those are your settings, guys. Now, I will say really quickly, the one thing I didn't actually enjoy for Battlefield 6 was actually the mini-map location. I'm normally so used to the mini-map being in the upper left or the upper right corner of my screen. The fact that it's in the bottom left kind of throws me off. I don't know, personal preference again, you can't change it though, whereas in other games I know you could change it. Maybe that's something that they can enable later on. We'll find out. And that's it for the best settings to have on Battlefield 6 on console for you geriatric streamers and gamers out there playing on a regular controller. Yeah, I'm saying geriatric, but like, what am I going to be saying in like 20 years when I'm still making these type of videos?